Hi, my name is Mike Becher with CALEXIT, and I'm going to show you how to create your splash board for signing petitions from an old box top. This is the flap off of a piece of cardboard, or off of a box for moving. A bunch of these, some splash, a rubber band, and some masking tape. So it's pretty easy. So first what we do is we just get a piece of cardboard that about fits. It doesn't have, this is not perfect, kind of cups at the edge, it doesn't really matter. Just as long as they can push hard on this, on the box area here. So first thing we do, like that, come with a knife. I'd recommend using a straight edge for this, but I'm just gonna cut it freehand. Garbage. There we go. Now we have our thing. We take our clip. Here, let me show you with several of these board, but just to give you an idea of how many you can get on one of these things. So I have 4. That's about the right number, is 4. Carry more than 4, you're carrying too many. Carrying less than 4, you're not carrying enough. Whoops. There you go. Now you're set. Flip the board over. Take some splash. I'd recommend going out and finding something on the internet, like maybe the one where the state is going this way, or a picture of a bear, or a picture of a bear eating Trump's face, or the rest of the United States. Anything that is very clearly associated with CALEXIT and very clearly demonstrates what you are asking petitions about. So basically what you want people to do is go, are you CALEXIT? That's the first question that you want them to ask when you show them the splash. So nothing too ambiguous, like I'd avoid like any very, whatever. You know what I mean. Oops, a little more here. Let's go like that. There you go. Now what happens is you go, hi, CALEXIT, would you care to sign a petition? There's the petition. They can read the petition here as they sign it. And if they want, you flip it over, like so. And they can read the back of the petition if they want to be extra inquisitive about what it is exactly they're signing. So make 4 more of those, and you have enough to go out solo. You don't need a table, you don't need a poster, you don't need a big tent or anything. So here's how the rubber band trick works. You take the top page off, you slip the rest of it underneath, like so, and there you go. Okay, so how to properly fill out this form. So you walk up to the person, you say, CALEXIT, would you please like to sign a petition? Flip it over. They can read the petition here. Flip it over. It has the full law back here if they ask. All right, so they agree to sign the petition. Next question out of your mouth is, did you vote in the last presidential election? If they say yes, you say, did you move since the last presidential election? They say no. Great. Let them sign the petition because they are a registered voter. So here, have them print their name clearly. Make sure it's clear. If it's not clear, have them rewrite it. Then they sign. Then they put their current address, not the address they registered with, but the current one. If the address they're registered with and their current address are different, they need to re-register to vote. City, zip code. This should be accurate. This should be accurate. No, for example, in Los Angeles, I live in a place called Panorama City. Panorama City is actually Los Angeles, so they would write Los Angeles. Then their zip code. Do not put anything in this box. This box is for the Secretary of State. Do not put anything in this box. This box is for us to validate the signatures after we get them to make sure they are registered to vote. So at the end of the day, when you've tallied up a bunch of these, so you have this sheet full, that sheet full, sheets underneath it full, you sit down, you take a moment, and you fill all this in. All signatures of this petition must be registered to vote in Los Angeles County, in my case. And then down here, declaration of circulation. I, in this case, write my name here, Mike Becher, address of where I live, the day I did the signatures, so do not do this the day that the signatures are signed. All right, this is asking when the signatures were signed, not when you filled out this part. Then the day you filled out this part, so this should all be done on the same day. So end of day, end of day, end of day, end of day, sign and sign. And that about covers it for filling out the form. Once all this is done, put these in a safe place and mail them up to Marcus in Fresno. And that's about it for validation. So let's say I just signed this and then I hand it to you, and then you ask me, did I vote in the last presidential election? And I say, no, I did not vote in the last presidential election. You go, great. You basically just say, your voter registration might be, how should I put it? Your voter registration might have gone stale. Let's re-register to vote. I can do it real quickly. So if the area you're at has access to the internet, get one of these. Or one of these. Or one of these. Anything will work. You go on the Secretary of State's website, corv.sos.ca.gov, and you will find that. Are you seeing that? Okay, that is the Secretary of State's online voter registration app. These work really great because you can hand them to people, but on the other hand, somebody might run away with it, so be careful with it. A laptop is usually a little bit better because if it has a mouse and a plug and some other stuff, it might be a little clunkier for them to run away with. But basically, you just bring them over or stand there and fill it out with them. So you say, are you a resident living in the United States are you a California resident living in the United States of California? Yes, I am. Next. Waiting for it to load. Okay. Next, you get all this stuff. Go through it. Familiarize yourself with it. You're going to run through it really quick. So it goes, you're a U.S. citizen? Yes. You're over 18? Yes. Please enter your name. Hand it to them. Let them type their name in. Place of birth, California driver's license, and the last four of the social security number. These are important. The California driver's license and the last four of the social security number are going to be used to validate them as registered voters. So basically have them go through all this, quickly scroll through it. If they want to keep it private, let them keep it private. So guarantee that their mailing address, if you can see that on the form, on the lower half of the form, it says guarantee that their mailing address matches the petition. So political party preference, whatever they like. Go next. Okay, so that's all filled out. All right, let me go back on that for a second. Okay, that's fine. So in the form, make sure they select also the correct county that they're in. Vote by mail. This is the rest of the stuff for other stuff. If they want to do vote by mail, usually I'd recommend telling them not to do vote by mail. Do they want to volunteer on election day? Consent to use of signature. This is very important. Consent to use of signature. They must say yes to consent to use of signature. What this means is that they are going to use their signature from their driver's license as their signature for their voter registration. So this signature and the signature from their driver's license will be matched up by the Secretary of State. So it is important that they consent yes to that. And then the affirmation, I declare under penalty of perjury, nah, right? So yes, no. And we go next. And then, so this is what you want to get them to. This is the review sheet. You go over the review sheet, make sure everything is correct. Whoops. Make sure everything is correct. And then just simply hit submit. And it's done. All right. If they entered an email address, or if they would like to enter in an email address, they'll receive a receipt of this for their records. So that's how you do a registration online. So if you have a tablet or a phone or a computer or anything, that'd work great. You can just quickly register somebody. If not, you're going to have to use the paper method. The paper method, what you do is you go to a DMV, a post office, post office, and I think there's one other location, but I usually just go to a post office. They're just about everywhere. And you go in and you ask for voter registration cards, say that you're petitioning and that you would need some voter registration cards, and they'll happily hand you over a stack of them. Registration cards. So the voter registration cards are about same size, legal size paper. You fill it out. There's a small box right here on the page. It says, if anybody helped you fill this out, please enter your information here. You must fill that out. On the bottom, there's a tearaway receipt for them. Fill that out, tear away, give them the receipt, take the voter registration card, fold it, and mail it. You can mail it at the end of the day when you're done wrapping up, or you can save them and they can go in with your petition sheets and we'll mail them here in Fresno. Either way, it works out just fine. All right. So that's it for making Flash, basic setup. If I had 4 of these, that's about everything I'd need to just go out. I can chuck them in my car, drive out to wherever, get out of the car real quick, spread them around. If I had one of these on me, or if I just had my phone, or some voter registration cards, I could just quickly hit up a place for maybe 10, 15 minutes, an hour, and then bang, off back to what I was doing. So it's a great way to get a couple of quick signatures or to try out an area to see if maybe you'd like to petition there more often, or if it's a good place to get signatures. It's a good place to get signatures is a college or a grocery store or anywhere people have to stand around for some reason, or they have to go through a doorway. So let's say I'm standing here at the edge of the doorway. You can easily pass right by me, but at the same time, you have to at least vocally talk to me. So I basically say, hi, would you like to sign a petition for CALEXIT to help California secede from the United States of America, or to help California independence, or whatever. You either walk right by me or you stop, and then I can gather position in front of you. I can show you the petition, so on. You take the petition from me. Would you take it, please? And then I come back over here, get another one, go right back to where I was standing, and get the next person. I move them aside and then get the next person. So that's generally the setup. So if you have a crowd of people, like at a lunch, you get 5 or 6 of these in your hand. So you have 4 or 5 flashboards. You just walk around with the flashboard in front. Say, hi, would you like to sign a petition? Good. Leave it to them. Walk to the next one. So the places you're looking for support this kind of activity. So there is a doorway. There is a group of people gathered outside in public. There is a group of people waiting in line, like maybe at a movie theater. The main thing is that it has to be out on the street. If it's enclosed, inside, indoors, you can go there to petition legally, but it just won't work. The simple fact of the matter is the security or somebody will come quickly to ask you to leave to go outside. And probably if they called the police would ask you to do the same, to go outside. Even though you do have a right to petition there, it's not important enough to make a big stink about it. You're going to be spending your time arguing and not getting any petition signed. So the best place to do it is right outside of a Walgreens, a Walmart, a Safeway. Go to colleges, especially on admission day. Go to movie theaters. If people are waiting in line for the movie theaters, go to the DMV. Anywhere people have a little time to kill and wouldn't mind hearing 5 or 6 seconds of what you have to say. So that's pretty much how you find spots. It's really a very local thing, and you could probably guess better than I could where a good spot would be. When you're outside, so let's say you're outside, you might get a manager or a representative of the store, perhaps a security guard, who comes out. So let's say you're outside of the store, you're not inside the building, you are out front of the door. You might get somebody who comes in and asks you to leave, or says that you can't petition here, or says that it's illegal to petition here. If they do that, the best course of action would be to ask them to call the police. The reason why you want to do that is because they have absolutely no legal right to do so. You are signing a legitimate petition approved by the Secretary of State, so this counts perfectly 100% as freedom of speech, and there's lots of law to back you up on this. As a matter of fact, if the police do arrive, they will happily inform the manager or the security guard that you have an absolute right to petition here and that they cannot tell you to leave. So if anybody comes up to you, simply ask them to call the police. Say, please call the police. You say, hi, you don't have a right to petition here. You say, yeah, yes, I do. I very much so have a right to petition here. This is constitutional speech. They say, no, you don't. No, you don't. You got to leave. You say, would you please call the police? And they'll be surprised by this. They probably never heard of this before. They're used to people just going when they ask them to go. So they'll go in, they'll get the manager come back, and you say, yes, will you please call the police? I would like the police to come down here because you're infringing upon my freedom of speech. And they'll quickly back off, and they'll let you petition there as long as you want, whenever you want. That's about it as far as dealing with getting kicked out of places or people maybe trying to hassle you. So don't worry about that. Be perfectly willing to ask the police to come down. If the police do come down, the police will be very upset with the management that they don't know this already, that they're wasting the police's time, and they will happily inform the management that you, in fact, can be there as long as you like. So if the police come down, that's gold for you. They will never, ever, ever bother you again. Do not be afraid of the police. So let me go over voter registration with you for one bit. All right. It is extremely, extremely important to get voter registration. The simple fact of the matter is voter registration goes stale. If you do not vote in 2 presidential elections, your registration is old. It does not count anymore. If you move, your registration is old. It does not count anymore. So it's very important to make sure voters are registered because their registration goes away quite easily. People move quite often, and moving from district to district or county to county obviously invalidates their voter registration. But most importantly, just simply not voting invalidates their voter registration. You'll find a lot of people who will swear on a Bible that they are registered to vote who are in fact not. Do not ask them if they are registered to vote. Do not say, are you a registered voter? It's not. What you simply ask is, did you vote in the last presidential election, and have you moved since? If they say anything, if they say yes and no, let them sign. If they do not say yes and no, then register them to vote. If they say yes and no, they may still not be registered to vote. They may have, they might just be lying. Some people just will answer on a quick answer. So double check, make sure they're registered to vote. If they're not registered to vote, their signature means nothing. It's just a waste of ink. So the declaration at the bottom of the circulation. Make sure that the declaration at the bottom of the circulation is filled out on the day that you complete the signatures. Please remember to do this. It's important that these dates are correct. All right. The reason why it's important that these dates are correct is because many people in the list will have to be registered to vote. And it's important that they're registered to vote before the petitions are turned in and that the dates are correct. Otherwise, they could be invalidated because the date at the bottom of this says that they signed this when they in fact weren't registered to vote earlier. I know it's a lot of legal jargon, but just be thorough about making sure that these are filled in on the date. It's just a small piece of work at the end of the day. How to get these. So if you can't get these from me in Los Angeles, or Marcus in Fresno, or Claire or Sam in San Francisco, then what you can do is you can print them yourself. So if you go on the website and you download this, the one with 8 on them, the legal double-sided PDF, put that on a flash drive or a secure digital media card or anything that will hold a file. You take that down to FedEx. They will print these. I printed 30 for 30. It was 30 cents. It was 30 cents for each. I printed 30 for $10. That's let's see, 8 times 3. That's 24. So it's about so I got 240 signatures for $10. That's what that worked out to be. All right. So let me go over the back of the petition and what the petition says a little bit, because you can use this to help speed up the process if you have a lot of people trying to get signatures at the same time. It's very simple. If somebody asks what the petition is, give them a quick explanation. You know, this is a petition to help California secede from the United States of America. Please ask them to please read this at the top. Say, please read this at the top, and when you're done, sign it. All right? They'll read this at the top. They may not be satisfied with it. They may have some more questions for you. They'll come over and say, I read this and I didn't quite understand this. Great. Flip it over. Ask them to read this section at the back, which is right here. CALEXIT, the California Independence Plebiscite of 2019. Ask them to just read through this quickly, and if they still have questions, try to answer them, politely, and have them sign. So the point is a lot of people will ask you, well, what is it? What is it all about? Simply hand them this. Ask them to read the blurb at the top, and then say, will you please sign when you're finished? And then come back a little bit later to check if they've signed. Your hook is going to have most of the information they're concerned with in the beginning, which is that this is a petition for California secession. So that will tell them 90% of their information here. Mostly they're going to read this just to make sure that what you said was true. And if they really want to make sure that what you said was true, you flip it over and say, this is the actual law that will go on the ballot in 2019. So if anybody asks you, if you have anybody who goes, oh, I would never vote for that, or they feel nervous or ambiguous about it, please remind them that this is just so it goes on the ballot. It's not making a law right away. And please remind them also that it is in 2019, so that they feel comfortable that there's a lot of time for people to think about this, because they may feel slightly shocked. So we went through a lot of material. Let me just quickly review it and go over some of the key important things. So, number one, absolutely very, very, very important. If you do not make sure that they are registered voters, they might as well not have signed. It is very, very important to make sure that they are currently and actively registered. So please do double check that they are registered. Ask them if they voted in the last presidential election. Ask them if they have moved since they last voted. So any questions, any doubts, use your phone, use your computer, use a paper sign-in sheet, have them register to vote. You can get the paper sign-in sheets at the DMV or at the post office. Either one will work. Number two, make sure that you make sure you have at least 4 or 5 of these boards. Splash, petition on the front, clip, the whole bit, all right? Make sure that you're gonna need several of these. Don't load the boards up too heavy. Bring sunscreen, bring a snack. Okay. Number 3, Make sure you have your flash on the front of your board. It's print out what you got to print out, do what you got to do. So remember your list of materials. Have your boards ready, 4 or 5 of them. Have your sheets ready. Have your boards with flash on them. Go get your flash printed. Have your voter registration cards with you. Just drop stuff off at a post office and get one. Printing, number 4, printing these. Cheapest, easiest way to do it is to just get a hold of a LaserJet printer and print them. The next best thing is to go down to a Kinko's. If you go down to a Kinko's, bring a flash drive. If you can get access, YesCalifornia is printing a bunch down in Los Angeles, so they'll be available there, and I will be bringing some up to the San Francisco area so they can be distributed from there to get access to a lot of them if you need them. Number 5, remember to use this description on the front. And this legal description on the back if anybody has any questions. Try not to spend a lot of time getting into debates with people about things. Use the paperwork. Let them read through it. Number 6, remember to fill out this box at the bottom at the end of every day. And don't forget this little guy right up here. Okay? And number 7, probably the one thing you do, because I've just given you 7 points, do all of this yourself for the first time. So make sure you fill this out yourself. Make sure you do your own voter registration on a voter registration card, or go to the website on the Secretary of State's website for California, register to vote. Do a voter registration card and go to the website and register to vote there. Make sure you've gone through the process for yourself several times so that you are highly familiar with it. And it'll allow you to catch all the little glitches and things that other people, people who are signing run into. So that's about it. Good luck.
Do you want to sign the petition?
Yes, I'll sign the petition because you're very adorably cute.